So people come up to me, they ask me, Dave, what are you playing? And I tell them, right now, I'm playing Waking Mars. So, another humble indie bundle for Android has launched, and I guess the marquee debut, I mean, this isn't the beat the average game, but the game that's actually making the most debuts, the most platform appearances, is Waking Mars. This game's been apparently been out on iOS for a while. It's been making some strides there. Never really played it. Don't have any iOS devices. Somehow, I don't know why it has, because I've been playing it on my Nexus 7, and it's kind of meh. But unlike most of these videos I do for like games out of humble Android bundles, I've actually played this a little on the PC just so we can skip past the annoying tutorial stuff and I can just get right into the game. And it's more charming on the PC for some weird reason. Let me see if you can probably pick out what makes it charming as I go through this. I mean, the Android well, part of it is probably controls, but how about we just go into this right now? So, we are playing as this guy right here. His name is Liang Chi, I believe his name, and we are astronauts. We are researchers on Mars, looking for life and looking to discover what exactly is going on here in the surface of Mars. Our research probe has disappeared. We have to find it. So yeah, so the general idea, you probably get the idea here. The game is a puzzle platformer. Yeah, I know, we have a lot of puzzle platformers, but it's a puzzle platformer about botany in space! Had to get that out there. But yeah, so essentially what we're doing right now, we have... Well, let's just look at the mechanics right quick. We have these seeds right here. These seeds allow us to grow plants. These plants will help us increase the biomass in a certain particular area, and that will help us progress to the next area. Basically, just our goal is just to grow enough stuff, grow enough life in an area to kind of just progress. So right now, though, we don't actually have to do any progression. We just have to kind of make our way to the bottom of this pit. See what is causing all this weird acid to come out of everywhere. Of course, the acid will cause damage to you. Like that. And the only way you can really recover is with these plants right here, which you can plant. They require water first. We do, however, have water in some form of some seeds. Do not ask me how that logically makes sense, but that is the way it is. So yeah, let's just make our way. And there's a very particular reason I chose to start at this point, as opposed to somewhere later. But we'll get to that, because this is where the game's story really starts to take off here.
Attention! This is a previously unknown life form of Mars. This microscopic life form digests minerals in the rock and excretes sulfuric acid as a waste product. Colonies such as this grow rapidly when eating, and individuals can travel through tiny fractures in rock.
You know, I'm looking at the scanners, and I think those things are popping up all over the place. Acid is dripping out of everywhere. Temperature, humidity, and pressure have been on the rise, and I guess one of those triggered a growing spree.
That is a noteworthy sequence of events. How did it evolve this way?
Huh? You want me to analyze their genetics?
I was just thinking out loud. But this is a dead end. I must return the way I came.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that it's getting kind of dangerous.
So be careful and stop.
Yeah, like that.
And that's one of the big reasons why I like the PC version better. I mean, there's also controls. I like the controls better. On the Android version, I'm guessing the same with iOS. It's like you touch where you want to move. It's like if you want your guy to use your jetpack, you have to touch above him or below him, and that really feels janky. For PC version, it's just WASD to move. You have to and just mouse click to throw your seeds, and it's very basic and it works well. So yeah, and that's another reason I like the PC version better for some bizarre reason, is that I like the fact that they actually took the time to voice acting, and the voice acting is very charming for the PC version. The Android version does not have voice acting. There's no voice acting whatsoever. It's just, they just kind of do like a little Banjo-Kazooie thing. It's like, and you know, that's charming in some respects, but it doesn't. It makes half the dialogue, and there's good dialogue, but it makes half the dialogue kind of fall a little flat, in my opinion here. So if you don't mind, I'm going to take time to heal up at this plant. Like I said, you can plant those later. I believe once I get up to the top here, yeah, I'll show you right here by throwing a water seed on this guy. And he blooms a little bit and starts spitting out more seeds for me. And I can also heal off him, so you get the idea here. It's botany, what can I say? It's botany, botany with strange alien life forms, but still botany. Let's explore down here a bit. I find it weird, though, that this game does have fall damage, considering that, you know, you have a jetpack, but if you don't use your jetpack, then you will suffer fall damage. Whatever. But anyway, yeah, like I said, the show up in the upper right corner how much biomass is in a particular area, so, and our goal is basically just to create as much biomass as possible to get through these various areas. Have I been here? Yes, I have. Alright, so this isn't... We don't need to keep going this way. Our goal is to find the source of this acid right now, so let's just head downwards since they actually cleared out that path, and avoid getting hit by any more acid. But yeah, like I said, I find this game kind of charming in its own way, but it's not a game that, in spite of it being in the humble indie bundle for Android, I would not recommend the Android version for any reason. I mean, it's got issues. The Android version has issues. I mean, it feels like it loses half the charm. I know it came first on iOS. How the hell did this game get popular on iOS? It really feels like that this game was made more for the PC, and I don't see how it would work on touch. I mean, it feels like I can control the guy much more accurately with WASD than I could on my Nexus 7. And I just got a Nexus 7 for my birthday, so yay! But it's like I can actually float in front of plants for when they're starting to spit out seeds, and sometimes you have to plant them on walls. So you know that is really nice. And here we have another major story beat.
Here it is, Leon, the last known location of Octo. He proceeded further and was never heard from again.
Really?
Can you see Octo's camera module? Should be nearby. But you know, it is getting kind of dangerous down there, so maybe you should just head back instead. Use your map to return to the outpost quickly. We'll regroup and evaluate.
Nice job with the voice sampling there. I love how you made it a little staticky to kind of, you know, make... Earlier on in the story, they kind of make it seem like that you get too deep in the bedrock and there comes a little bit of interference, shall we say. So they go ahead and dub that in, and it's a nice touch. It's a touch you don't get on the Android version, and it's like it feels like that's a touch that's just lost. Anyway, let's just go and grab the camera module.
Alert! This is camera hardware dispossessed by Octo.
Yes, I assumed it might be. But why did Octo place it here? Was he interested in these basalt columns?
I am acquiring data from the module now. Data is inconclusive. Octo stopped attempting to transmit and instead dispossessed the module.
The mystery deepens. I can think of no reason he would stop sending transmissions.
Hey, Leon, if you didn't get that last transmission, here's what I was saying. You should head back to the outpost, use the map. It will allow you to travel instantly.
Thank you, Miss Amani. I get it. Get back to base. But yeah, I have to say, this game, the writing in this game is pretty charming, and I like art. We'll get to a very big cutscene that kind of really shifts the pacing of the story for the better once we get in there. But you get to see just what comes out of this, and I happen to really like this game in the PC version here. And it's like, you know what? Let's explore. Screw Amani. Let's see what's going on through here. I never actually checked this part out when I was playing, my Nexus 7, just to. Okay, so they really don't want you to progress past.
Attention! This passageway has recently collapsed.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
That is true. Amani was correct in her assessment of the danger.
I have determined that it is 73.570% likely that Octo progressed this way.
Then we know one thing at least. To continue our hunt, we will need to get deeper into this cave.
I will now provide hopeful information. The digging tools of the outpost are capable of removing this rubble that obstacles progress.
Did Amani program you to say that?
Yes.
So yeah, I guess that's actually some foreshadowing for something that I've gotten up to on my Nexus 7. But yeah, as much as I keep admonishing my Nexus 7, there's no way I'm going to keep playing this game on my Nexus 7. I'll probably play it on the PC, honestly. And yeah, Art's a fun character. I like him. Although something makes me think that they really have not learned from Google how to do in this future. They have not learned from Google how to do decent voice synthesis, because goddamn, Google's got something amazing going here. So yeah, let's just warp back to base and we'll get the next big story beat. Yes. And honestly, there are some things about this game that kind of bug me in certain respects. Let me just pull up the research menu and I'll show you what I mean. So yeah, it's obvious that, I mean, in spite of me saying I don't know how this game became popular on iOS, it's obvious that the UI is all done on iOS. If you can see my mouse cursor, I believe I've kind of set fraps to hide my mouse cursor, but I don't know, sometimes that kind of works a little wonkily. But if you see my mouse cursor here, you can see that I'm actually moving that on these screens. I don't press left and right to switch between the different cards for the different species I've encountered here. Instead, for some bizarre reason, they have me actually using the WASD to move the mouse cursor and detecting where that goes to shift between cards. And it's like I can't use the arrow keys to shift between cards either. And it just almost does not work when you're playing this game windowed. It's like I have to shift left and right. I'm only playing this windowed for the sake of recording this. OpenShot throws a fit whenever it gets something higher than 720p, but it's like, why? Why are you doing it like this? Why'd you set up the controls like this? That seems a little backwards. Whatever, but yeah, let's just head back to base and let's get the next big story sequence going.
So, what do you think about Leth Cavern?
It is a place taken from a dream. How lucky we are to have been chosen for this mission. But I am very concerned about structural integrity. We have been reckless.
You're talking about that acid slime? I've got some new data. I noticed it has a distinct chemical fingerprint, so I wrote a little solver to find source locations. I used a second-order approximation for the diffusion functions, which should be accurate enough. You agree?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not good with logarithms either.
This is derived from Octo's report. The slime was already here, even back then. Here's what it looks like now. Even distribution, much higher density.
So for the past 8 months, the slime has been traveling through rock and reproducing. Burst of activity was caused by my actions today?
Definitely. Turns out it's triggered by compounds the halide release. You grew the halide, the acid started dripping. This acid is incredibly corrosive too. The cave is basically dissolving away. It's crazy. Ooh, there's more. You remember those strange readings we noticed when we landed? I used the subsurface shallow radar, and I'm pretty sure this is a body of liquid water. But 8 months ago, it was mostly empty space. Maybe a bit of ice?
An underground reservoir has simply appeared?
Looks that way. This is awesome, right, Leong? So much to research.
This is worrisome. It seems our impact is causing rapid changes that would not occur naturally. The cerebrain are the cause. Perhaps we should dig around them rather than continue raising biomass. We must reconsider our approach to the mission.
Oh shit. Like I said, this is where things start to go down story-wise. So yeah, this is where the story really picks up. It kind of changes the pace a bit. You do eventually escape and, and end up having to looking for Octo. But the game still is, it does a good job with pacing, and this story is well done. And here's one of my favorite moments in the story, I'll say that much.
What?
I have discovered a fact. The cave may be structurally unsound. Please, be wary.
Yes, I agree with your findings. I assume it is not possible to reach Amani.
We are too deep to obtain a signal from base camp.
Then it is just us two. I wish your natural language module was working properly.
Thank you. I am very abilities for human dialogue. Good news. Scans report that you are awake and have suffered without permanent injury.
Is there a passage back to the outpost accessible from here?
Yes, accessible to air particles. A human is too large.
Then I will have to search for some other way out of the cave.
You no longer contain any protocaps.
Yes, but I can grow my own. Starting with just one seed, I can obtain as many as I need.
I have confirmed your logic.
Protocaps are what Art calls seeds, and that is one of my favorite scenes in this game, just because of Art's dialogue. It's like I said, and I played this mostly on the Android version. There's no voice acting, and that line still made me laugh without Art saying his broken English, and which makes me wonder where they programmed his speech module or whatever. But at least the text-to-speech bit. But even better when you can actually hear the lines for some reason.
Scanning. This organic matter exhibits no current biological activity. It may be a sessile remnant.
Left over from a deceased life form. Similar to a tree trunk, perhaps.
Yes.
And this is where the puzzle elements start to become a little more interesting, to say the least. We'll really dive into it right now, but right now we just gotta grow some seeds. And like I said, I enjoy this game on the PC version. I don't know why it's not really my thing as far as the Android version, but I'm still having a heap of fun with it. So let me see here. Let's try to find a patch of fertile ground so we can plant some more seeds, because that's something we need to do. Where is the fertile ground? I've been past this part. I know where. I should know where. It should be very blatantly obvious where I can plant. Oh yeah, right. I have to break this thing, I think. Collapsible platforms in every game, in every platformer ever. Gotta remember little tropes like that sometimes.
I have received another transmission from Octo Hardware. Here is the image from the camera module.
These could not be rock formations, could they? I note they all point upwards like stalagmites.
Please note this scale reference. It is likely this is a fighter.
Then these are very large structures. Fascinating. Please indicate the location of this signal on my map, Art.
Alright, so now we got some place that we can actually plant some stuff. Let's go ahead and do right that. First off, we have some nice moistened soil right here, so we'll throw one of the little... I forget what the names of all these different plants are, for this particular one, plant is called, but I know the other one's hydron because its seeds produce water, and then there's like... And then we get other types of plants, like, that are carnivorous. And I just made a really stupid mistake there, so let's go ahead and plant a hydron plant so that way we can get some more water seeds. So we don't need to water the plants, but it does help for certain aspects here. I mean, collect a bunch of seeds from these guys, and then right, heal up, and we'll just make our way to... I hope there's another... Yeah, there's more patches of dirt here, so we can go ahead and... And that should open the way for us, and let's make sure to collect the seeds, because that's a lot of what you do in this game. You plant zoas. That's what they call these plants. You go, then you plant your zoas. You go ahead and plant enough zoas, that way your biomass reaches a certain level, and then the door to the next area disappears, and you move on to the next area and repeat. I mean, there's only so much you can do with botany as your subject for this game, but
attention! The prior observation regarding organic matter is erroneous. Despite an extensive period of inactivity, This previously unknown life form of Mars is able to exhibit measurable livelihood.
Art, do you have any settings to control the frequency of your dialogue?
Yes, I am currently in normal mode. There is also verbose and terse.
Thank you.
I know he's supposed to be an AI, but Art's look on his face was a little priceless there. But yeah, anyway, let's just continue through here. This is actually one of the more interesting puzzles in the game, just because it shows you that there's more than just finding patches of dirt to plant stuff in it as a way to increase the amount of, increase the level of the biomass so that we can actually progress here. There's other things that you can do here, and this is probably one of the big puzzles that actually kind of shows that here. So let's see here, and yeah, all the dirt is accounted for. There's already a bunch of there's only these guys here, so we're gonna have to just water them to increase the biomass a bit, and then we're just gonna have to, I guess we're trapped. We need at least level 3 to get past a certain... We need at least 3 stars in a room to get past these doors. So we're gonna have to add something else to the equation. I'll show you what that something else is. Yeah, see, these guys have come back to life, so what we need to do is feed them, pretty much. And once they get fed, they go ahead and reproduce, and then they can, these living creatures reproduce, ends up also increasing the amount of biomass in an area. So it's more than just planting; it's also just forming a general ecosystem, and it's kind of interesting in its own right for anyone. I mean, I have to find this just a fascinating game in general. So it's a game that I'm definitely going to keep playing. Not on Android, which is kind of weird considering that this is probably like the one game in the humble indie bundle for Android that wasn't previously on PC before. So like instead it was like all on. Come on, God damn it, get down here. These guys are being a pest. Fine, I'll just feed them. Not the way I wanted to do that. Go ahead and lay your egg. Yeah, there we go. And that should open the door. Or not, because I just killed one of them.
There are too few fertile terrains.
Art,
Yes,
I know this
I
part.
must find some other way to raise...
Attention! The
Yeah,
page of our research log may provide useful.
Thank you, Art. I was just showing these people how to do this. But yeah, it's like that's like the first hint that you really needed to do something else for this. And you know, it's fun. I like this game for that. There's actually, I mean, you can go for like 5 stars in every area if you want to, and it's an interesting challenge to be sure. There's a little bit of resource conservation. It's a game, but this game is definitely something that I will probably keep playing. Not on my Nexus 7, in spite of, you know, this being in like one of the big titles in the humble indie bundle for Android. I'm not going to be playing it on an Android device, but it's definitely a game I'm probably going to keep playing. It's a game that I find intriguing in its own right. So let's just head into the next area, so that way, and there's no way to exit back to the...
Inquiry is prepared.
You have a question?
Yes. Dr. Ranga classifies my dialogue module as Chatterbox. Also, is this the classification of Dr. Key?
You need not be concerned, Art. I should be worried for my survival, but instead, I find I appreciate the peacefulness of these caves. That is all.
Inquiry is resolved.
I'm pretty sure QI is pronounced Chi. At least that's the case with a couple electronics that I know that actually use that abbreviation. But anyway, like I said, there's no exit. There's no title screen that I can exit to, so I'll just wrap it up here. So, yeah. What was I going to say here? Oh, yeah, that's right. Waking Mars. Interesting game. I like it. I don't like it for Android, though. It's a kind of a weird thing where I will actually say that... where it's also a bit of a problem because I'm going to go ahead and just mute the music setting. mute the music a bit. It's also a problem because like the PC version is currently only available in the Humble Indie bundle for Android, so it's like you're gonna be until like that bundle ends and the developer starts just selling it individually through the Humble store, which I believe is definitely a thing nowadays. Well, you'll mostly still have to go through our website, but yeah, until then, it's like you'll have to get this through the Humble, either on iOS, which I don't know why, the touchscreen version is really kind of garbage, or you get this through the Humble bundle, and maybe later through the Humble store. It's not on Steam right now, but there is a Steam Greenlight page, and I urge you to go give this a thumbs up. This game is definitely worth it. But for now, I will just say, this Humble Indie bundle has at least got other good things going for it, if you want something for your Android device. I'm probably not going to be playing this on there anymore because Spacecam has kind of fried my brain. Yes, I just got around to Spacecam. I am really slow. But, and Spacecam is really proving that to me. But this is a fine game, and the Humble Indie bundle happens to have and the newest Humble Indie bundle for Android happens to have other fine games going with it. Machinarium, if you beat the average. I believe Euphoria. I don't have my Nexus 7 with me currently. Euphoria, there's a couple of Splice, a bunch of other good stuff that I would recommend. But I'm not going to be playing this on my Nexus 7 much longer. I'm playing this on my PC just because it's a superior experience there. But yeah, I'm Dave, and that's what I've been playing. Take care, everybody.